Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Conspiracy Corner. This is going to be the first video in a three-part series about Katy Perry and some really despicable stuff that she's up to. I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is kind of a crazy story, to be honest with you. Katy Perry killing nuns and screwing over vets, and Congress passing a law called the Katy Perry Act just to deal with people doing what she's doing. That's going to be what the three-part series is about. This first one is going to be about Katy Perry killing a nun. So buckle up. Here's the article. Here we go. This article comes from Insider, and the headline is "Every Twist and Turn in Katy Perry's Bitter Legal Battle with Nuns Over Her Purchase of Their Former Convent." It's written by Callie Agrigam, and it was published June 11th, 2019. Katy Perry has been embroiled in a legal battle with the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary since 2014. The pop star tried to purchase a Los Angeles estate that used to be a convent, but two former residents rejected her as a potential buyer. The Archdiocese of Los Angeles sued the two elderly nuns for Perry's right to purchase the property. Sister Catherine Rose Holzman died in 2018. On Saturday, Sister Rita Callahan said that Perry has blood on her hands. Here's a complete timeline of the scandal. 81-year-old Sister Rita Callahan recently declared that Katy Perry, the pop star most famous for catchy radio hits like I Kissed a Girl and Roar, has blood on her hands. Callahan is the last living member of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, a group of nuns who lived in a sprawling Los Angeles convent. Years ago, Perry offered millions of dollars to buy the estate. The Archdiocese of Los Angeles supported Perry's purchase, while the nuns didn't. This sparked a bitter legal battle that lasted for multiple years and culminated in a shocking courthouse death last year. Here's a complete timeline of the scandal. In 1972, the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary pooled their money to purchase the property. The French-style chateau was designed by the architect Bernard Maybeck and built in 1927. The complex includes 8 acres, more than 30,000 square feet of living space, and an adjoining house of prayer that's still in use by the local clergy. According to the New York Times, the sisters purchased the property from businessman Daniel Donahue after the death of his wife, who was posthumously honored as a papal countess by the Vatican. Donahue sold his estate to the sisters for just $600,000 and even helped them pay for it. What made him leave was the memory of his wife, Bernadine, Sister Callahan told the Times in 2015, a year after Donahue had died. In those early years, 52 Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary lived on the property, according to the Los Angeles Times. By 2011, just 5 remained. The remaining sisters were reportedly forced to relocate in 2011. According to Billboard, the Archdiocese of Los Angeles forced the elderly sisters to leave the convent against their will. "We had to do what we were told," Sister Catherine Rose Holzman told Billboard. "I think it's because they were trying to sell our property. They had been trying for years, even when we lived there. But none of us ever wanted to leave." The nuns' relocation lies at the heart of the current property dispute. While the Archdiocese began to entertain potential buyers, the sisters still believed the property belonged to them, so only they could sell it, especially because they felt they'd been mistreated in recent years. As Daniel Botcher wrote for Billboard in 2015, the nuns say that during the last 2 decades, their treatment by the Archdiocese has devolved into a troubling pattern of neglect and broken promises. So when Archbishop Jose Gomez agreed to sell the property to Perry, without any input or involvement from the sisters, the women said they were immediately concerned, without even knowing who Perry was, because they feared they wouldn't see any of that money. Perry offered to buy the estate for $14.5 million in cash. According to Billboard, Perry showed interest in the convent as early as 2013. The gospel singer turned pop star, a daughter of evangelical Christian preachers, planned to move in with her mother and grandmother. Gomez accepted her $14.5 million cash offer sometime in 2013 or 2014. But Holzman and Callahan, 2 of the last 5 living sisters at the time, refused to sell to Perry. Holzman had researched the celebrity buyer and found a video of Perry joking about selling her soul to the devil in exchange for success. And I don't know if she was joking. Even mentioning that she would sell her soul to Satan is against our principles and beliefs, Holzman told Billboard in 2015. Katy Perry represents everything we don't believe in. It would be a sin to sell to her. Callanan was similarly displeased by the idea of Perry living in her former home. She told the Los Angeles Times that she was particularly unimpressed with Perry's performance of Teenage Dream at the 2015 Super Bowl halftime show. Well, I found Katy Perry and I found her videos, and if it's all right to say, I wasn't happy with any of it, Callanan said. At the request of the Archbishop, Holzman and Callanan met with Perry in May 2015. In an attempt to win them over, Perry reportedly sang the gospel song "Oh Happy Day" and showed the nuns her tattoo of the word Jesus on her wrist. She was nice, Holzman told Billboard. She told us why she wanted the property and then sang a song and left. Before Perry could complete the sale, the nuns sold the convent to someone else. Acting under the belief that they alone owned the convent, the sisters quickly sold the estate to restaurateur and developer Dana Hollister. Hollister made her offer directly to the nuns, $15.5 million and $100,000 in cash up front. They accepted without ever meeting her and immediately turned over the deed. She moved in shortly after, intending to turn the property into a boutique hotel. The sisters told the New York Times that Hollister's offer was partly preferable because she agreed to keep the property open to the public. "What I'm doing is really pure," Hollister told Billboard. "I don't give an S about the money. I met these sisters and realized if I don't help, who's going to?" The Archdiocese and Perry both sued Hollister. The sisters have been taken advantage of by the Hollister transaction, the Archdiocese claimed in a 2015 statement. In July of 2015, mere months after Hollister bought the convent, a judge invalidated her purchase. He also ruled that Hollister could continue to live there as long as she paid the sisters $25,000 a month in rent while the lawsuits were pending. Perry also sued the restaurateur for interfering with her own purchase. According to court documents filed in September 2015, Perry's team claimed that Hollister took advantage of vulnerable elderly nuns, who she malevolently convinced to oppose the Roman Catholic Church. "It's interesting she has all this girl power and she's running over a woman and 5 nuns," Hollister told Billboard of Perry. "We are going to Rome. We are not quitting now. We are just getting warmed up." Perry won the right to purchase the convent in 2017, but still needed the Vatican's approval. A Los Angeles Superior Court judge ruled in favor of the Archdiocese, clearing Perry's path to buy the estate. The court finds that the sisters did not have the authority to sell the property to Hollister. Judge Stephanie Bawick wrote in her ruling, "The Pope did not consent to the sale of the property to Hollister, and there was no written approval from the Holy See or the Archbishop." As reported by Billboard, any sale of church property that exceeds $7.5 million in an archdiocese with more than 500,000 people requires final approval from the Vatican. In September 2017, it was reported that the Vatican wouldn't approve Perry's purchase until she found a replacement for the property's house of prayer. In November 2017, a judge found that Hollister intentionally interfered with Perry's legal purchase. She was ordered to pay the archdiocese $3.47 million in attorney's fees, and Perry's company $1.57 million in fees. She was also found guilty of malice and fraud, so a second phase of the trial was set to determine if either group should be awarded more money in punitive damages. Hollister declared bankruptcy shortly after. In March 2018, one of the nuns died in a courtroom while supporting Hollister. Holzman and Callanan both accompanied Hollister to bankruptcy court in order to show their support. "Katy Perry, please stop," 89-year-old Holzman told Fox 11 while standing outside the Los Angeles courtroom. "It's not doing anyone any good except hurting a lot of people." Hours later, she collapsed and died during the court proceeding. On Saturday, 81-year-old Callanan told the New York Post that Perry has blood on her hands. "I really didn't like Katy Perry," Callanan told the Post. "I'm sure she doesn't like me. The convent is currently back on the market." And that is the end of the article. To me, it seems like Like Hollister and the nuns kind of got a raw deal here, man. They got the shaft on this one. I mean, the nuns pooled their money and bought this property. With their own money, they bought it. So by law, they should own it. But because they're nuns and they're in the church, somehow they have to have permission from the Pope to sell it if it's worth a certain amount. And that's ridiculous. I mean, who's going to pay these nuns back the money that they owe them for the property? I mean, it seems to me like the Vatican just stole this. I mean, the nuns paid the $600,000 for the property. And the Vatican comes in and says you can't sell it. Well, what gives them the right to say that they can't sell it? They don't own the damn property. The nuns do. The Pope needs to keep his nose out of it. He's got no business telling the nuns they can't sell it. And then they turn around, the Archbishop turns around and sells it to Katy Perry. And the nuns were worried they weren't even going to get any of the money. So that means they were planning on ripping these nuns off. And then instead of just turning around and realizing, hey, you know, I'm screwing these nuns over, man. I'm messing with these nuns really bad. And just walking away from the thing. Instead, Katy Perry sues Hollister. And Hollister, it seems, was just trying to help the nuns out. She wasn't doing anything. She definitely wasn't committing fraud and all that nonsense that the judge said. All she was doing was trying to help the nuns out and buy the property to turn it into a hotel. Because the nuns didn't want to sell to Katy Perry, and it was their property, so they shouldn't have to if they don't want to. But then the judge railroads her with all these stupid charges that don't make any sense. I think this whole thing is despicable. To me, it seems like because Katy Perry is who she is, because she's famous, and because she's got a lot of money, that there was undue influence there. I think the judge in this case was dirty. You know, I think that the judge, anybody can see that this isn't right, what was done to these nuns. But yet the judge went along with it just because of some Vatican rule. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not right. And it's definitely not justice in my view. As always, you're free to make up your own mind about this. And let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. But to me, this seems like they screwed these nuns over. And then even after they asked Katy Perry to stop, she keeps going. And then one of the nun goes public and asks her to stop publicly. And then dies that day, collapses and dies. In the courtroom, it said. So Katy Perry stressed this nun out to the point where she had a heart attack and died. That's messed up, man. I agree with that with the other sister when she said that she has blood on her hands. She absolutely does. She may not have strangled the nun to death, but she sure as hell stressed her out to the point where she had a heart attack and died. Katy Perry ought to be ashamed of herself. I don't blame the nuns for not wanting to sell to her. I've seen the video where she talks about selling her soul to Satan. She certainly wasn't joking. She wasn't, hey, knock, knock, who's there? I sold my soul to Satan. It wasn't a joke. She wasn't laughing and giggling and acting stupid. She was dead serious when she said it. But even if she was joking, why would you think that a nun would have to sell to somebody who is even joking about selling their soul to Satan and goes out there singing songs like I Kissed a Girl? I mean, that's obviously against this lady's beliefs. So why should she be forced to sell her property, especially when she's not getting the money? Why the hell would she do that? I have to sell my property to this person that I think it goes against my religious beliefs, and I have to do it so I get screwed out of the $600,000 I put up? No, that's not right. That is not right. As I said, you guys are free to make up your own mind. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think. As always, your choice. Thanks for watching. There's going to be 2 more videos in this little 3-part series that I'm going to, because it doesn't stop here. Katy Perry also screwed over a vet. That will be next. That'll be my next video I do. It'll be part 2 of this. And then it got to the point where Congress is actually passing a law that they're calling the Katy Perry Act to stop people from screwing over old people and stealing their stuff. So that'll be part 3. That video talking about the act and all that will be part 3 of this series. But it's going to be a 3-parter. I might release some boom, 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 one after the other. But it won't be very long in between them. So definitely check those out if you're interested in this story and want to follow it. As always, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll catch you on the next one. Until I speak to you again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.